Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of sharing some of our favorite resources. Actually, most of these aren't even our resources, but just free resources that we've been sharing with our clients to help them land $200,000 to $500,000 plus jobs. I bet it even works for some other jobs as well. But for those of you who don't know us, my name is Katie. I'm a coach at Career Sprout, and this is our founder.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly live. If you don't know us or if you are new to us, the cool thing is we go live every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern to talk about all things related to the job search. Well, specifically to landing 200K to 500K job offers in tech. That's what we do at Career Sprout. We both run Career Sprout. And those are the type of clients we support. So the resources that we're going to share today, as Katie mentioned, they probably do work for jobs that are not specific to tech or not 200K to 500. But I just want to be put the disclaimer out there that these are the resources we've shared with our clients. We've used them ourselves. We trust them. And for those of you who, in case you're wondering, also, we are not sponsored by any of these resources. So we're not being paid by anyone. Again, it's just things that we trust, we've used, we love. So we hope that they help you today. And we broke this down in very specific ways. We have certain job boards we're going to talk about, salary research tools we're going to use, interview prep specific tools we're going to share, etc. So we're going to just kind of go through it. But for those of you who are here, welcome again. And we, as you know, we never start these lives until Katie McIntyre shares one of her lovely jokes or uses Juliana's joke.
Yeah, Juliana's been a real library. I'm not going to do a knock knock today because I felt like it wasn't the knock knock mood.
Why?
Because you don't like knock knocks. And I wanted to pick one that I thought would make you laugh.
Okay. I'll take it.
How do you find Will Smith in a snowstorm?
Oh, man. Is this going to be offensive to Will Smith or Chris Rock or someone?
No.
Oh, okay. How do you find Will Smith in a snowstorm? I don't know.
You look for Fresh Prince.
No,
not good. All right, wait, I have a backup. I had a backup in case you didn't like it.
What's the backup? Let's go there.
What's the Okay, no, that was, yeah, I should have known. I forgot pop culture.
Dang.
Okay, hold on. Let's just change gears so we don't get flagged.
That was really good. I told you.
I didn't think of that. I'm not up on my pop culture. Okay. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bicycle?
What?
A tire.
That's good. I would have started with that.
Okay, good. All right, we got there. Good. All right, Jody. First of all, no one asked your opinion.
I like it. I like the second one. Damn, Jody said that was painful.
All right. Well, some people got it. All right. Well, thank you guys for either joining and laughing or for tolerating me for the first 5 minutes of this. Now we can get to what y'all came here for.
All right. So let's start diving into our favorite resources to help job seekers land 200K to 500K job offers. Do you want to start?
You start.
Okay. So the very first, let's start with job boards. If you've been following us for some time, you know that we don't really want to use job boards to sit there and spend countless hours applying. It's so that you find the right opportunities so that you can then use them to go and find hiring managers, executives, senior leaders to start reaching out to start conversations / interviews. So all of these job boards that we're going to talk about right now, that's exactly what our clients use them for. So they'll go on these job boards, find an opportunity, then they'll use our outreach scripts and things like that to find the hiring managers, executives, senior leaders, recruiters to message. And then that's how they get the interviews. It's not because they go on the job board and apply. So this very first one is really cool. It's a list of VC specific job boards. So venture capitalist job boards. And the reason we like this very first one is because not everyone and their mom wants to work for a Fang or a Mang or a Salesforce or these huge companies. They want to work for some late stage startups. And a lot of these late stage startups don't post their jobs like on some of these bigger job boards. Instead, they'll use these VC job boards. And what's so cool about this is if you go on these job boards, and I'll share the Google Doc in a second, but if you go on these job boards, you will find you will have like a 3 sort of tier approach to going from that to landing an interview. So if you go on a job board, a VC specific one, and you see that a venture capitalist is posting a job for, let's just say, a head of product management. Now you can reach out directly to the VC. You can reach out directly to the recruiter and the hiring managers and the senior leaders at the portfolio company. And so you increase your odds of being able to generate a conversation. So this is the one that we're going to share first. Where is it? Oops. Sorry, guys. Here it is. So there's a list here of all these VC job boards that you can go through. Now, our clients will literally, because they know what role they're going after, they'll just go on each one and see if there's a new job that's been posted that day. And again, it's super, super cool because VCs, if you reach out to them and you're a good fit for them, they have a really strong incentive to directly introduce you to the senior leaders at their portfolio company and get you an interview as fast as they can, right? Because they stand to benefit from it. So this VC job board is the first resource that we're going to share. And we really love this one because of the fact that it's just, to us, it's way more effective. Our clients get interviews from these. So we're going to share this one. So I'll put that in the link, and then Katie can talk about the next one.
You got it. So the other thing, if you want to stop sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The next one that I want to share is more of a.
Am I still sharing? No, right?
Nope, you're good.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to start sharing my screen. This is what I would argue is the most underutilized, but most comprehensive. Outside of like VC job boards, that's going to give you a ton of different options. And we're going to list off some of our favorite job boards right after this. But one of the things that I just want to share with folks is when you are, hopefully you can see my screen now. When you are using Google, sometimes people forget how powerful Google actually is. So if we were to go to what it was the example that you just used, product manager, product manager jobs. And if you just type in product manager jobs, oftentimes people end up skipping over this section here altogether. But if you click on the jobs tab, what happens is you are going to see product manager jobs that are pulled from LinkedIn, from ZipRecruiter, from the company career page themselves, from different agencies. And so you essentially get, and these are just ones that are local to Dallas, but you are going to get all of these different product manager roles that are pulled from so many different spots on the internet. Now, again, does that mean you click on this and then you go apply for this role? No, absolutely not. But what it does allow you to do, and you can obviously get more or less specific here based on industry, based on salary, based on location, based on level of seniority, all of that good stuff. You could do the same thing for VP product or you can do it for other than product as well. But now you're going to see all the VP product roles. And now, especially when you are targeting some of these more executive, higher level roles, you're not going to have as many of them. So making sure that you are pulling in from as many places as you can and starting with a wide net, casting a wide net. So you're seeing all of the opportunities. And there's a couple reasons why this is beneficial. One, not just because of the, benefit of seeing these roles, but oftentimes there's a huge mental component here where if you're scrolling on LinkedIn, you're scrolling on some of these social media platforms, it's really easy to get caught in the doom and gloom and feel like there's a ton of scarcity. But when you go through some of these exercises and you see all of the different platforms, you see all of the other opportunities that are out there, it makes it a lot easier for you to approach this from a place of abundance where you're seeing what's out there, and it allows you to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more at ease as you're going through the rest of your search. So I'm a really big fan of just starting with a wide net here, using Google and starting to see some of the opportunities that are out there, sparking some ideas. Maybe you're not somebody who would have thought of Hinge or Gartner or Citi. These may be companies that weren't necessarily on your list, but now you're attuned to them because you're seeing the opportunities that they have.
Yeah. The answer to this one, Surbi, is yes. Very simple. The answer is yes. But I'd love it if, Katie, you can just talk to this a little bit.
I would love to. Well, I understand why people would apply to jobs. It seems like the logical thing. And I feel like in an ideal world, that would be the perfect way to tell a company, hey, I'm interested in this role, and here's why I think I'm a good fit. The reality of the system right now is if you look up any stats, people that are conducting studies, a world-class resume, aka a perfect resume that's perfectly tailored for this specific role that you're applying to, if you have a world-class resume, you're only seeing 0.5 to 2% conversion rates on online applications, which means for you to get one conversation, you're going to have to send anywhere from 100 to 200 applications in. That's one way to go about it. What has worked better, and I think we're sharing some of these scripts later on, but what we have found work better for our clients is rather than just applying to roles, what they'll do is they'll find the role and then they'll reach out to people who are tied to that role at that specific company. And when you use the scripts that we'll share later on, as a general rule, we won't even troubleshoot with a client unless they drop below 20% response rate there. So talking best case scenario 2% versus a worst case of 20% by reaching out directly to the folks who can help you. That is where I would recommend spending your time versus applying for numerous jobs on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and just so you know how our clients do it. So Katie just looked at, you said it was a head of product at Gartner, right?
Sure.
So let's just say you go on a job
VP of
board.
product.
Yeah, you go on a job board, you see a VP of product at a company called Gartner. So again, our clients won't sit there and apply to that job because of the conversion rate ratio being so low. They'll instead go to Gartner, right? They'll go straight to the company profile on LinkedIn. Then what they'll do is go to people. And then under people, they'll reach out and they'll type in talent acquisition. And they'll find 3 to 5 recruiters. And sometimes the name of the recruiter is actually posted on the job description. So then great, you know exactly who to message. But we still recommend reaching out to 3 to 5 recruiters per company and then 3 to 5 senior leaders. And when you think of like the question naturally is, well, which senior leader should I reach out to? And this is where you have to put your inspector gadget hat on and ask yourself, well, who are the people that are either likely, like what are the titles of the people that are either likely to be my manager or the type of people I would be working with in a role like this? So if it's a VP of product, I know I might report directly to an SVP of product. So then what I would do is I would type in senior vice president and product. So I would do it like this.
Yeah, and then just make sure you have the quotes.
Yeah, so I would type in, put quotes like this. So you guys see it, senior vice president, and then product. And then what you'll find, hopefully, are people who are SVPs of product management at Gartner. Now, again, we might not know who the person is going to be that we directly report to, but we know it could be one of these, right? So then we still say 3 to 5 recruiters per company, 3 to 5 senior leaders per company. You could also reach out to engineering leaders, etc. And then we'll share the very specific scripts that our clients use to generate conversations with these folks. And then those conversations are what lead to interviews. And we're looking just for a 20, 25, 30% conversion rate, and that's more than enough. So those are like, that's how we utilize job boards. And then we'll kind of share a few more job boards that we really like as well. So
yeah, do you want to just list them or do you want to share your screen?
No, I can just list them.
Okay.
Here's a few more that we really like. These, some of you probably have heard of these. These are job boards.
So while you're typing those in, I just want to respond to this one. Just like applications, people are getting spammed with a lot of messages. So even cold emails and messages are getting lost. So this can happen. And as a matter of fact, if you listen to the stats that I shared, we won't troubleshoot unless it drops below 20% response rate, which another way of saying that is 80% of people are not going to respond to you. And that's perfectly okay. And then you will have the people who fall into the 20%, great timing, Raj, who boom, the recruiter responded with, when can we talk? And so what's really interesting is I've even seen this. I should have taken a screenshot of it, but I shared one of these templates on a LinkedIn post and somebody commented on it and said, thank you so much. I used this and got 2 interviews. That is what somebody said in a comment. And then somebody responded to her comment and said, I'm a hiring manager and I get a ton of these messages every single day. I'm never going to respond to one of them. And then same exact message, 2 different opinions. You could read that other person's message and say, yeah, see, I knew it. Nobody was going to respond. And you could completely ignore the person who just got 2 interviews from using that exact message. It's up to you which one you want to focus on. And we're only talking to the people who want to focus to the first one.
But think about it like this. I actually just got off a call with somebody who said that my outreach hasn't been working. And then I went on and I looked at his LinkedIn profile and he had nothing on there. He had no quantifiable achievements. He didn't talk about what he did, like responsibilities, no value proposition. So it was like, think about what happens when you go on LinkedIn and you message somebody. The very first thing that's going to happen when you message somebody, and think about if somebody's ever messaged you, is you're going to go on to their LinkedIn profile. And if your LinkedIn profile does not speak to what they need, there is no incentive for that human being to reach out to you. So when we talk about outreach being extremely effective, there's a missing piece to that, which is first, you have to have a really well-written resume. Well-written LinkedIn profile. And for that to happen, you have to be very clear on the role that you're targeting, making sure it's good, like it's a good fit. And then making sure that you include on your LinkedIn profile the types of things you're seeing on these job descriptions, which is normally responsibilities. And then to supercharge that, you want to add accomplishments. We talk about this all the time, so I won't spend too much more time on this, but outreach will not work effectively or at all if your LinkedIn profile is not optimized. So people who don't see conversions usually have a very poor written LinkedIn profile. But the good news is that's the most solvable thing there is. And we'll share a resource later on how to actually write a really good LinkedIn profile too. Okay, so then I just listed some of the other job boards we really like and our clients use all the time. Again, these are for 200K to 500K jobs in tech. Built-in is obviously one that you most have heard of. Well-Found is another one. Hired Hippo, Google Job Boards. Remotive. These are all great resources in addition to the VC job boards that we listed earlier.
Yep. Real quick, just to highlight, I do want to make a quick clarification. This may be accurate. Full transparency, we talked a little bit about this being the stuff that we use for $200,000 to $500,000 plus candidates. We have no experience in the visa job search, and I understand that there's a lot of nuances and changes. I would recommend, like, you could test some of these things, but I do just want to make that clarification that we don't have experience in that space. And I think that's important for some of the folks that are on here.
Yeah. Awesome. So those are the job boards, VC ones, and then the ones we just listed in the comments. The next two, we won't spend too much time on it, but they're really helpful when it comes to negotiating or understanding what type of salary ranges you should be going for. And so the first one is obviously called, well, actually, I'll put the first one is, this might not be obvious, is called levels.fyi. Levels.fyi is something we use with our clients to make sure that we are very clear on the salary range being like accurate or not accurate when they're going for roles, right? Because sometimes companies will list salaries that say 100,000 to 600,000, and we know that's not accurate. But when you use levels.fyi, you'll actually see what other people got for a similar position at that same type of company. So now when it comes time to speak with a recruiter and they say, what's your salary range? We're presenting them with a very accurate, realistic range. So it doesn't kind of price you out, and it helps you avoid being lowballed. So I'm going to drop that one here. This is a salary research tool called levels.fyi. We really like this one too.
Yep. And one of the things we've gotten quite a few messages from people who said this tip was really helpful for them. If a recruiter calls you out of the blue, you should know that a recruiter call is likely going to include some version of, hey, what are your salary expectations? So if you haven't been to levels.fyi or some of these resources that we're going to mention, one tip that I would just recommend is taking some time to actually research what your salary range should be. And if a recruiter calls you and catches you off guard, you can say, hey, I'm actually in the middle of something. What role and company is this in reference to? Can I give you a call back, in an hour or so? And now you can go and very quickly do some research on levels.fyi. There's a couple other ones that we'll share here. And now you'll know what the salary expectations, what the fair market range for these roles that you're targeting, or the role that you're going to specifically talk to this recruiter. You'll have this information going into it. This isn't something that we want to save until the final, step when they give you $100,000 offer and you were expecting a $230,000 offer. This is stuff that you do oftentimes prior to ever having an official conversation with somebody at the company.
Correct. Pay scale is another good one. Salary.com is another good one. So I just put those here too.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. So what's another one so we did salary research tools, job board so far. Okay. The third, this is another, so we're going to move away from those two. And now we're going to talk about something our clients utilize a lot, which is working directly with executive search firms. And these are phenomenal resources to use, because think about it like this. Job boards are where companies go to just blast a job, right? So that means they're going to then in return get a plethora of applicants. Most of them won't be qualified, but they're going to sort through 500, 700, 800 types candidates who applied until they find a few that they want to interview. But when you're going for these 2, 3, 5, 700K roles, which our clients do, they leverage executive search firms a lot. And why do they do that? Because executive search firms work directly with the company that's hiring. And they do this on a retained basis, meaning the company has to pay the executive search firm to conduct the search. Whether they fill it or not, they will fill it, but that's what a retained search is. And there's a little clause. I used to have a retained search firm. I know this, and I have a lot of friends who run them. There's a clause that a retained search firm will put with an employer that says, even if you post this job and an applicant comes through it, we still get the credit. It's ruthless, but it's how it works. So most of these companies, they won't post their VP, SVP, C-suite positions, sometimes even director, senior director positions, because they're giving it to an executive search firm, and they want the executive search firm to do all the heavy lifting. And so if they did post the job and the executive search firm takes credit for it, that like defeats the purpose, right? So executive search firms have really cool ins with some of these awesome companies for really high paying jobs. And so some of our favorite that I'll put in there, or I'll put here, are right here. So I'll just put that in the chat. So Korn Ferry, N2 Growth, Heidrick and Struggles, Russell Reynolds, these are just 4, but they work with so many companies. They do it globally, and they have direct communication, direct relationships with the executives that you're going to end up working with. And so if your background is a good fit, they're so incentivized to get you into the door as quickly as they can. So you can use job boards, they work, but if you're going for these really high level up positions, and you know for a fact now at least that they're not going to be posted, well, the executive search firms would know about that, know about those roles. So I would recommend, these are some that we've seen a lot of, our clients have at least seen a lot of success with. I'm sure if you did a search for like top executive search firms for your specific background, you'd probably find a list way bigger than this one too.
Yeah. And one of the other things to keep in mind is a lot of search firms are niche. So you can say top fintech search firms. You can search for top fintech VC firms, right? And you can narrow it down to the industries or the types of companies that you're specifically interested in, and your odds of getting a response rate, if you have a background that speaks to that, go up dramatically as well.
Yeah. And what our clients will do, sort of to answer Wendy's question, is they'll, and again, these are for our clients who are going for VP, SVP, C-suite positions. They'll reach out at these executive search firms. They have these different titles. They're not called recruiters. They're usually called managing partner or partner. And so when you go to an executive search firm, you would reach out to somebody with that title, partner or managing partner, and say, hey, just began my search. Here's what I'm looking for. Are you working with any organizations that meet this background? Would love to have a chat. And if they are, again, they have every incentive to want to speak with you.
Yeah. And the other thing to keep in mind, a really good thing you can do is just look to see if they are actively announcing any roles that they're filling and offer to make an introduction. I think a really important piece of this outreach is recognizing that you're looking for ways to build relationships and add value to the person on the other side of the computer or the other side of the phone, whatever metric, whatever mode you're using. And so looking for ways that you can add value and make their life easier. If that's the filter you're looking through things, your conversion rates will go up quite a bit.
Yeah. When our clients do outreach, and I feel like we're going all over the place a little, but hopefully if you guys have questions, let us know. But when our clients do outreach, they are leveraging LinkedIn to find the people that, like in the way I just showed you, to message them. But another way they're also doing this is, especially if they're going for senior level roles, is they'll send an email directly to these executives themselves. Because think about it again logically, a lot of times executives are not spending a lot of time on LinkedIn because they're busy doing a million other things, but they do check their emails. And so the next question that naturally comes up is, well, how do I find their email address? So I'm going to drop a tool here called hunter.io. Again, you can use this one for free. And what's neat is Hunter will be able to extract sometimes professional or even usually professional emails, addresses of the people you're hoping to reach out to. So what you do in hunter.io is you literally put in the name of the person, the company, and then it'll find you their their email address. And here it is. That's a great one, hunter.io. So it's not just limited to reaching out to somebody on LinkedIn.
Yep.
So that's another tool. This next tool I'm going to talk about, I actually met this guy a few weeks ago, and he's one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. I'm going to drop his name. His name is Cole Sperry. If you haven't, again, he's not paying me to even talk about this, but if you haven't met Cole, you really should. This is Cole. And Cole just has an awesome blog called Optim Careers. And it's job search advice from real recruiters and executives. I met with this guy a few weeks ago, and this is what his, whoops, gosh, I'm not doing a great job today on this. This is what his website looks like, and I'll drop the link in a second. But he just has super cool tools for like resume builder tools, resume guides, interviewing things. And so it's all broken down here. And dude, 95% of the articles and content you're seeing on this is written directly by Cole. And he doesn't charge you for this. He just makes his money through ads and things like that. But I love, when I met with him, then I started browsing on all this stuff. I was like, dude, this is a gold mine that you can take advantage of. So I'll drop this in a second in the chat. But Optim Careers is just another really cool tool to consider. Go ahead, K-Man.
Awesome. So those are some of the free tools for what I would say that are job specific, of how to find jobs, how to find people who work at those companies that are hiring for jobs. I think maybe one of the most underrated free resources that are out there are communities of people who want to help other people. And there's a ton of them out there. And so one of our favorites that we've come across, actually a client shared this with us, gosh, maybe a year or two ago now. It's called the ADP list, or adplist.org. And what it is, I'll just share my screen and I'll show you. It's literally a website that's just dedicated to connecting you with mentors for free. And they have folks who work at some incredible companies. And these are people who are signing up to say, hey, I want to be a mentor to somebody. I want to help folks in this way. And so it's an opportunity for you to type in whatever it is that you want to get better at and find people who are good at exactly that. And again, it's 100% free. There's like 32,000 plus mentors in their community right now. And one of the cool things, if you want to become a mentor, obviously you would just click the mentor versus mentee side. But one of the cool things about this, especially for any introverts that are out there, it alleviates a lot of that pressure of like, gosh, I don't know if they're even going to want to hear from me. It's like, these are people who are saying, hey, please reach out to me. Very similar to people who on their LinkedIn post like, hey, I'm hiring. Send me a message if you're interested in this role. Like, these are people who are raising their hands to say, I would like to help you if I can. And so communities or programs like the ADP list, there's a couple of them out there. Some of them, ADP list is free. There's others that are paid, like Chief. If you're a woman, you're an executive and you're a woman, we've heard cool things about Chief and how they have little communities, coaching programs designed specifically for women who are in leadership roles. A couple other ones are Women in Product. There's one called Alpha for women in tech. And then there's other ones that are specifically for, product folks. There's others that are specifically for executives or specifically for engineers. And so finding your little communities, whether it's like ADP list and it's on their own platform or even a LinkedIn group, there's Reddit threads, there's Slack communities, there's all of these different communities most of them free, not all of them, but many of them are free, that you can go and learn from people who are exactly where you want to be or who are working at companies that you admire. And now it's a really low risk or low friction way for you to build relationships with some of these folks that can potentially make an introduction or are the recruiters, hiring managers, executives in charge of hiring for a role you're interested in.
Yeah. And what's awesome too is think about this from a long-term perspective too, right? A lot of times when someone comes to work with us and they want our help to help them find a high-paying job, one of the things they'll always say is, I haven't done a great job of like cultivating my network over the years. Like I've just been like only talking to people at my companies. So then when they get to the job market, they don't know who to reach out to. They have no warm connections that can introduce them. But these resources like Alpha, Chief, ADPlist.org, this is such a great way to build a network that can potentially help you now, but it's a network that can serve you for the rest of your career, because this is likely not the only time you're ever going to be in the job search. So when you connect with these people, these can turn into friendships and good relationships or acquaintances that can help you down the line. So it benefits you in two ways, not just one.
Yeah. And I might even add to that. I think sometimes people underestimate the power of this when they're thinking long term. Something that's been really cool to see over the years. And this is not that he would ever like pat himself on the back or brag about it, but I'll do it for him. One of the things that Gaurav has done by setting up Career Sprout the way that he has is he's been very intentional about teaching all of our clients how to do outreach. He's very intentional about not ever giving somebody fish. He teaches them how to fish so that they will never need him again. And he's one of the greatest folks that I've ever come across when it comes to empowering other people to actually have the skills that they need to future-proof their career. And the skill to future-proof your career is not picking the perfect company that's never going to go under or never going to lay you off or never going to whatever. The skills that are empowering you are learning how to build intentional relationships with these folks. And so what's been so cool to watch is when Career Sprout alumni come back into the program, or they don't even technically come back into the program, they'll send us a message. Usually it's in with about 30 days of them getting laid off or deciding they want a new job, whatever the case may be. And they say, hey, I've been doing outreach throughout the last 2 years. And so I just reached out to a couple of these folks and I just wanted to let you guys know that I just accepted an offer or I'm now negotiating this offer. And it's pretty rare that it takes them more than 30 days to do a job search once they've learned these skills. And so this is just something when we talk about the long term, I don't want you guys to sleep on that because that really is so powerful. There's short-term benefits for sure, but being it really intentional about building relationships with these folks that you're reaching out to now and offering to help, especially when you don't need anything in return after you get your job, it's one of the greatest life hacks, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the greatest things that you can do for your career.
Agreed. In our program, because we work specifically with professionals in tech, as you can imagine, a lot of our clients are in product. So this next tool I want to show you, it's super cool. It was shared to us by a client. It's called Hello PM, and it's just an awesome list of resources for your next product management interview. So many of our other clients have used it, and there's just, I don't know, like tons of awesome resources here. Important ways to help you answer your product's strategy questions, yada, yada, yada. So there's all these little cheat sheets and things like that. So it's just, if you're in product management, this is such a really cool tool. So I'll drop that one here as well. It's called Hello PM.
Yep. Yeah, there's a couple cool product, what do you want to call them? Product specific prep resources. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Product specific prep resources that are out there. I don't know why I chose to say that again. Hello PM is a really great one. And then some other ones that we have heard good things are Product Plan. And then there's actually even a YouTube channel that I can share below here as well. Because I know we're coming up on time, so maybe we'll just.
It's this guy's YouTube channel. His name is Diego Granados. And he's worked in FANG companies. He's helped a lot of product specific people help land good product management roles. So he just has a plethora of like cool things like about resumes, LinkedIn, interviews, yada yada. So I'll drop his channel here. Again, we don't know him. This is just what our clients have used. They've loved it. So we think he's super cool.
Maybe this is how we can get new friends. Just talk about it.
So that's another one. So Hello PM, Product Plan, and then Diego. Those are all really cool resources if you're going specifically for product manager roles.
Yep.
All right, we're getting up on time. So, these next three, I won't dive into them too deep, but we found three really cool, or actually someone shared this with us, three really cool guides for Mang interviews. So these three guides are for Amazon, Apple, and Meta. So if you are interviewing there, these guides might be worth checking out as well. So I'll drop that in the comments, and then K-Mac, you can go to the last few that we have.
Yeah. Also, are these helpful for you guys? Having just a meeting like this where we're aggregating the free resources. One, I'd like to know if that's helpful for you guys. Maybe we should have passed that sooner. We could have pivoted. But two, hopefully it is helpful, and assuming that it is, some added resources that we have created. And again, these are all just free. We've looked at some of the biggest sticking points or the things that take up the most brain bandwidth for folks. And usually it comes down to things like writing a resume, how to know if you have a good resume, how to prepare for interviews, or how to pass a recruiter screen, how to even like find a high paying job in tech. So I'm going to share just one by one real quick some of the resources that we've put together and the links for them. So the first one here, this actually says 2024. However, it's the same process that we've been using for 2025. I haven't updated it because y'all are about to get a cool GPT version that you can use for free. So I'll let you know when that's updated. But if you have any resume questions, or you just want free templates, or you want to know how us and our coaches do it, all of that information's right here, along with these, again, just all the templates that we work from as well. And if you're like me and you prefer video, there's a video training there as well. So that is the resume guide. The next one,
these links that she's talking about.
Oh, perfect. The next
what's cool is you don't have to recreate your resume from scratch, you guys. Like we literally, I think Katie wrote like 28 or 29 different resume templates for the most common jobs that our clients are going after. So it's like if you follow this way, you don't have to recreate it from scratch. It'll save you, I think, a lot of hours. So here's our resume guide.
Awesome. Next one is how to pass recruiter screens. This is exactly what we coach our clients on, the questions that they should ask, the questions that the recruiter is very likely to ask you. And then there are two bonus hacks. We don't usually use the word hack, but I feel like in this case, it just makes sense to do. So this is going to walk you through, again, not only the questions that they ask, but how we would recommend responding to those questions, the frameworks that we use, things like the salary expectation. One really important piece of this is never just giving them a specific number, making sure you're giving them a range, and then some ways to make you more valuable to recruiters, ways to make their life easier, things that are as simple as, rather than just letting them put you to the next round, offer to do your write-up for the recruiter. It'll save them a ton of time. It'll make sure that the aspects of you and who you are getting emphasized, and what the hiring manager cares about is going to be there. And so just simply asking, hey, would it be helpful if I sent over a short write-up explaining why I'm a good fit, so that you can use that, when you're sharing with the hiring manager? Or we mentioned this a little bit before, just asking what other roles they're recruiting for, being somebody who is a value add in terms of making introductions. If you know somebody who may be a good fit, not only are you helping that the candidate, but you're also helping that recruiter make their life easier as well. So just little things like that to get through, not only get through the recruiter screens, but actually make sure that you are building relationships.
Yeah. So, let me put that one here too. And then we have two more, the interview training.
Yes, two more. I'll go through these really quickly. This one is just advanced interview training. This is just, again, this is, I was in charge of the thumbnail for this one. This is just a video walking you through the exact frameworks, the structure that we use to prep our clients before every interview that they go on. And then, of course, there's some added stuff right below if you prefer to read over listening and watching a video training. And then the last one, which I would say is maybe the most comprehensive, and actually maybe we should have just started with this one, is just an entire step-by-step playbook to land a job in the next, in under 90 days. So it walks you through literally the step-by-step. Step one, this is what you do. Here are the tips. Here are the free resources. Here's, all of the stuff that we use. Step two, to write your resume and your LinkedIn profile. And again, just going through step-by-step, some of the links that we've just mentioned are in here. And just free resources, communities, some of the things that we've talked about today. It's just a comprehensive document for essentially everything that you would need, A to Z, for a job search in this market. I think that's everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we don't do these resource ones that often, but thank you so much for those of you who joined and let us know that they were helpful. We can certainly do more of these. And just while we have you for a couple more minutes, we've done LinkedIn Lives around interview prep, salary negotiations, how to write resumes, how to do outreach, networking, obviously resources like today's. While you guys are on here, any types of lives that you would like for us to do? Because so long as we're good at it or we feel confident with it, we're more than happy to do that. But is there if you guys want to drop like a topic or two, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it here, or we can come back to it and we'll check. But yeah, if there's a topic you'd like for us to cover, and again, if we're confident in it, we'll certainly do it. But for those of you who joined, again, thank you so much for investing an hour with us. As always, Katie and I if you don't know it, we're rooting for you guys behind the scenes. And we really hope that these help, and we hope that you're able to land a job you love, making the money that you're worth and more. And we'll talk to you guys again next week.
Awesome.
Thanks again, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
Cool. Bye.